Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. Taking a look at a satellite loop. We've got remnants of the storms that moved through the Bismarck, Jamestown. Over the last 50 frames, you can certainly see a lot of storms that were popping up over in the North Dakota and northern South Dakota area. But one thing that I want to kind of show you here is some model runs of what is expected to happen later today. Let's go ahead and go over to Pivotal Weather to take a look at some of that. This is a look at 7Z. So if we move this along here, you can certainly see based on HRRR here. Actually, let's go back to this one. There we go. This is what is expected into the northern portions of South Dakota today, based on one weather model. Okay, according to the HRRR model, it's going to be very difficult for things to get going. Why is that? That would be because of all this cloud cover that we had. So I do want to remind you folks that there's plenty of other elements that are there. And let's go ahead and take a look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlooks for today. And we'll put up the live radar here so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. So we have remnants, very garden variety type storms, nothing real huge up here by Sisseton. But I do want to remind folks that all the elements are there for some storms to get brewing. If all this cloud cover and this remnant storm coverage can go by the wayside, if you will. And I'll actually show you, let's see here. Not that, 1 second here. Let me go ahead and show you the tornado risk here. All right, so the tornado risk is a large swath area for the United States, and I'm just double checking with IEMBot here to verify that they haven't released a new update. They'll probably be releasing a new update here through the live broadcast, and once that comes through, I'll bring that to you live here. But um, my thought is they're probably going to shave some of this off here, but this 2% risk is throughout areas of eastern, southeastern Montana, pretty much the whole northern half of South Dakota, and over in the Fargo area. One moment. Yep, that's the allergies for you. All right. Looks like. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the model runs here through the HRRR model to take a look at what is expected for significant tornado parameters, max updraft helicity. Let's look at that first, max updraft helicity. That way we can kind of pinpoint where exactly this might end up happening here. Well, based on the HRRR model, it's going to be another one of those late ones, and it's going to be a northerly track. This is where all that hail, significant hail is going to be. Let's go ahead and put that up here. So there's where all the hail is expected to be. And I'm going to have to go to the NAM3K to get a better idea of this. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put this into play here. All right, this is a look at 6 a.m. I don't know if there was any reports of hail. From what I could see on IMBot, it doesn't look like there was any reports of hail. So, all right, as we get into 10 a.m., there doesn't really look that great. Let me look at significant tornado parameters to see if that's going to be showing anything. I really think the problem we're going to end up having, even though they have this risk here, I think the problem we're going to end up having is the remnants of these storms that we had. So let's go ahead and move this along here. 2 p.m., 5 p.m. There we go. All right, looks like this is where the magic's going to happen. kind of this area here. So if you're in areas of kind of the wooded areas of Minnesota, that's where we're expecting some definite uh, tornado genesis possibility sometime after 4 p.m. There is ever so slight of a chance here north of Pierre, South Dakota. Let's take a look at that a little bit deeper here. This would be around the Selby, Highway 83, north of Gettysburg. I don't see anything really supportive a lot. Let's take a look at the actual numbers here. 2.4, some rotation could happen. But again, 5 p.m. to me seems way too early. I think the HRRR model is giving this way too much stout for that tornado genesis. I really think what's going to happen is this is going to be a very difficult day for any tornado genesis for the area of South Dakota. Now, hail, that definitely is going to be a different factor. That hail factor certainly could be possible. Let's take a look at surface-based SIN. That is the capping of the atmosphere. Let me back this up here a little bit. All right, so as you can see, this is picking up on some of those storms right here. You can kind of see that Boeing line around 6 a.m. And look at that. So we don't clear anything out until, and it's very scattered clearing out. Look at that. So we've got, let me show you the numbers here. It'll be a little bit easier. So anything that's a negative, the larger the negative number, the more the capping that's going on. And obviously, some of these could be the storm cells if things get cleared out enough. But I don't see a whole lot of clearing going on, not enough to really ramp things up. And there's where it gets explosive, Pierre, South Dakota, later in the evening. So let me just kind of show you a composite reflective look of that. That's a look at 9 p.m. So I really think we're going to be talking about more of the late night storms again today, the heating of the day, and the capping of the atmosphere. They're all going to play a significant role in how these play out. Why then do they have, whoops, it looks like they just came out with a new update here. 1 second. Let me show you this here real quick. 1 second. All right, so it looks like they just came out with this here, and I want to show you that. All right, so they just came out with this one here, and make sure this is, yeah, this was updated at 7:32. The slight risk is still right above Pierre, South Dakota, and it's including Bismarck. Doesn't look like they made any changes. Let's take a look here. I'll kind of breeze through. Extensive convective overturning has occurred overnight across the northern plains, and while isolated hail or strong or to severe gusts may occur with ongoing thunderstorms, the net effect of this convection may be to displace the surface boundary farther south than most guidance indicates in the wake of this early day convection. Yep, that's kind of what I was talking about. Going to be a little tough for things to get going. And then that wind threat, that is going to be over by the Buffalo, South Dakota area. The hail threat, uh, looks like they scaled that back a little bit. Looks like that's more of a westerly part. And then the other thing that we got to worry about is day two. Day two looks pretty impressive as far as the wind threat. I do believe they're likely going to have a hatched area for Sioux Falls for a wind threat where we could see 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds for tomorrow. And that might be an interesting day to chase. But the tornado threat is so low, I believe that's due to the wind shear. Yeah, the wind shear is going to be higher up in areas of Wisconsin, allowing for that tornado genesis possibly to happen in areas of Wisconsin. So if you're just joining us in areas of Wisconsin tomorrow, you definitely need to be careful as that will rapidly change. Let's take a look at that shear. The bulk shear that we're looking at here. Let me move this over a little bit. Sorry, folks. All right, we're taking a look here at the bulk shear. This is using the Rufus weather model. And as we get into tonight, around 7 p.m., right in this vicinity, that's where we could end up having some brief spin up possibility. That would be northwest of Sisseton, South Dakota. And then it's very, very quick. It moves through there pretty quick. Once we get to the early morning hours of tomorrow, right in this northern portion of South Dakota, and look at that over in Fargo area. Whoops. But the main event is going to be tomorrow. Take a look at this as we kind of see a Boeing line segment here. This is around 19Z uh, tomorrow. I got to do my math. 20Z is 3 p.m., 19 would be 2 p.m. So around 2 p.m., actually 1 p.m. Sometime after 1 p.m. tomorrow, things really ramp up for areas like Highway 14, Huron, South Dakota area, and then that really moves through the Brookings area um, and southwest Minnesota. So that's what we're kind of expecting to have some pretty significant thunderstorms tomorrow in this vicinity. This is going to be kind of the area that we would be most concerned about right in here for tomorrow. That's likely going to be that wind and hail threat. The wind threat is going to be significant. I believe somewhere in there in that outline, that's probably going to be where they have a hatched uh, area of significant wind threat. And as we move things along here, let's take a look and see if we can see where that tornado threat is likely to happen. Yeah, tornado threat would be way up into the extreme northern portions of Wisconsin tomorrow. And it's going to be very isolated and quick. But that wind threat, look at this. Look at, I hate this when it does that. So if we move this along here, you can certainly see the Twin Cities. So if you guys have, anybody's got plans for the Twin Cities, as you get closer to that 5 o'clock, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., the Twin Cities area, according to the Rufus model, this could have a pretty significant impact. Even areas of northwestern Wisconsin, as you get into 8 p.m. It's just building one heck of a wind event here and going to be pushing through. So kind of wanted to show you guys that information. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Radar Omega pulled up with the update here. Sometimes it has a tendency to take a little bit for it to update. So 1 second. Yep, this is finally updated. So now I can show you on here. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what is expected timing-wise for the rain, right? All right, so we're looking at 6 p.m. There's Pier. Again, this 5% brown area, that's for your hail. We're not really or your wind, I believe. Let's just double check. Hail. Hail. So pretty low risk in areas of Sioux Falls, Rapid City, but points northward, we do have that significant hail that's expected in that basically that dark outlined area all the way up into Fargo. Jamestown, you're in that. Let's move this thing along. 6 p.m. kind of is when the action could happen. And then it gets more numerous, kind of a building of a line there super late. sometime after 10 p.m. And that's where a lot of that flash flooding. Let's take a look at that as well. We do have a slight risk for the flash flooding here. Let me shut this one off here. So all of this zone up by Fargo, we've got a excessive rainfall outlook. This looks to be somewhere between, that 2 to 5 inch rainfall rate, not rate, but 2 to 5 inches of rain. Let me look at the totals that we might end up having on these so you guys are aware at least. Total precip here between, this is between last night, so I don't want to go too far on that. I'm going to use the HRRR model to kind of get a better idea of where this could be. This would be between 7 o'clock this morning and this run here. Okay, doesn't look that significant unless you are over in this area here, east of Fargo. Could have few inches. It might be isolated spots even more. This is pushing the rain further north on this particular weather model, but nonetheless, some rain. We also do have some rain that's expected, pretty significant rain over in areas of South Carolina. That's a look at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time over by the Charleston area. Let's take a look and see if they do have a risk here today for significant weather. I believe they've got at least a slight risk there based on what I see on radar. They should upgrade that. Yeah, they definitely should upgrade this area here. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they upgrade this for the 11 o'clock. The 11 o'clock update. This area probably is. Let me take a look at the significant tornado parameters there as well. Well, they won't have the tornado risk there. That would probably be more so of a slight risk. Let me see, updraft helicity. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot. So I guess it could be warranted to just have a marginal. But it does look a little bit more organized, and that's typically when they issue those, is when there's more organized cells. See, as you can see up here by Bismarck area around midnight time frame, sometime after 9 p.m., lots of hail up here. Even possibility of some tornado genesis happening up there. Surface-based CAPE, if we take a look at that, what's fueling everything? If we move things along, this is again for today. We don't have a whole lot of CAPE. It's very widely scattered, as you can see. By the time things really, the surface-based CAPE gets in here, there's not a lot of energy until late in the day. So we finally get things happening over by Winter, South Dakota, and O'Neill. And then this right here, we certainly could see plenty of energy here, but that doesn't really fuel things until about 5 p.m. But then again, we do have to worry about that cap of the atmosphere. I don't know. I think, in my opinion, tomorrow is going to be the bigger day. Let me show you a weather model run of tomorrow. Show you tomorrow's model run with the composite reflective. And obviously, this was updated at 2 o'clock in the morning, and obviously, this can change. This gets an update at 8 o'clock, but it takes a little while to fully get updated. So here's a look at 3 p.m. today. Very widely scattered. But again, Pierce, South Dakota, Valentine area again, possibly at 8 p.m. Fergus Falls, some pretty impactful wind possible there. It doesn't look super cellular, so I'm not really confident about the tornado risk today. All right, as we go into tomorrow, this is looking at 6 o'clock in the morning if things can still hold together that long. As you go into tomorrow afternoon, is what I really want to see here. We got winter, winter, winter chicken dinner, baby, right here. If that holds true around 2 o'clock, that would be an area that would be an interesting start. This would probably be where I would set up if I chase tomorrow. Because take a look at this. You're going to end up with a big old windbag here. Once you get over to Platte, South Dakota, we're going to be talking possibility of 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds with this puppy. And that's just going to kind of barrel through here. Once it really forms this line here, it's going to really impact. This is a estimated look at 4 p.m. And then we do have this supercell over here by Flandreau, South Dakota, north of Dells Rapids around 4 p.m. that tries to get going. But just look at this puppy right here. This is where the wind is going to be, right here. This on the back side of this. So if any of you live in anywhere in this vicinity here, that's likely going to be the most impact for wind for tomorrow. As we move along further, this is a look at 6 p.m. Look at that curvature. I mean, that tells me there is so much wind on the backside of this, and obviously model runs change. So this is just one weather model, and the HRRR is not showing it. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Doesn't mean it is. It's just be weather aware is the main thing. And let me kind of show you as well as the outlook, categorical outlook for tomorrow. Okay, they do have that slight risk right here, and that's encompassing all of this, all the way over to areas of extreme northeastern portions of, or northern portions of Wisconsin. What is that, Canada way up there? Yeah, long line of slight risk. So we're talking hail possibility there. Wow, they don't have a hail threat. Well, that makes sense because it's going to be moving too fast. Once this thing picks up speed, it's going to be moving way too fast. So the wind threat's going to be the big old event. There we go. And again, like I said in the earlier part of the broadcast, this area somewhere in here is probably going to see an upgrade to a significant risk. They'll probably upgrade this to a 30% risk for the wind event for tomorrow. So folks, you definitely need to be aware tomorrow for areas of southeastern South Dakota, northeastern portions of Nebraska, and more so, I would say, like over by this Worthington and like the Brookings. Let me back this up a little bit. Look at that big old windbag. Even Iowa's going to get in on this. But right there, that is like I would not want to be stuck in that mess. So I don't know if I'm going to chase or not. The tornado threat is like less than 2%. So I'd rather chase tornadoes than I would windbag events. So we'll have to see how it goes. Maybe I'll just stick around the Sioux Falls area and just watch that shelfie. I'll get a shelfie for tomorrow. You guys want me to get a shelfie? A shelfie, big old shelf cloud will be there. And that thing is going to that's going to be a barn burner. That is really, if this holds true, This is going to be one heck of a day tomorrow for wind. So tie everything down with as much force as you can, because if this holds true, we're we're definitely going to be talking about 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds. I wouldn't be a bit surprised actually to see a spike of a little higher than 80 if this holds true. I'm not trying to sell it here. I haven't seen a curvature like this for a while, and that's so tightly wrapped right around Madison area, folks. So this is going to be your event for tomorrow. Again, folks that are up in the northern portion of South Dakota for today, back this up here. The remnants of your storms this morning may have hindered the ability for any type of convection to happen until super late in the evening. I mean, look at this. 1 o'clock in the morning, we really start to see things, but that is more of a wind bag. I don't see anything supportive until really 10 p.m. I mean, look at this. You're going to have a few pop-up cells here and there, but I don't think that tornado genesis is going to be able to pop up. It'll be interesting to see what the 11:30 update gives us, but with respect to Storm Prediction Center's outlook, I think they're right to keep it 2% because if a few storm cells like down here, um, or I should say up in northern part of South Dakota could get going, if it could break through that cap, then yeah, all modes of severe weather would be possible, but it's really going to be difficult. Got cell here, little difficult here. This is around 10 p.m. But that's all we've got. I thank you all for joining. Gosh, everybody that's watching never talks in here. I swear I only have one person that typically ends up talking. I'm not bashing you guys, just crazy. I'm used to TikTok world where everybody's chatting like 500 miles a minute. So appreciate y'all being here. Again, the tornado risk for today is all encompass this area, and I believe this is going to likely be more of kind of the northern portion, like Alexandria, Little Falls area for the tornado genesis, if it can get going. Let me pull up significant tornado parameters. All right, so there's a significant tornado parameters. Kind of show you, this is Minnesota here for today. Could see tornado genesis happening as early as 2 p.m., but I don't know. That would be an area, if I was going to chase, I don't like chasing in northern Minnesota. That's too woodsy for me. But look at that. Between 2 p.m. and gosh, keeps on pushing it. Could have a long day. Let me take a look at some information um, through the Twin Cities here. 1 second. So main thing too is heavy rain, 6+ inches. Okay, so from areas of like Red Wing all the way up to Fergus Falls, Brainerd, I'm sure that Melissa Metz is definitely going to be chasing this puppy up in the Brainerd area. Take a look and see what Brainerd's got. Brainerd, Minnesota. Over by Baxter. Let's look. She's going to have some fun up there today. Holy smokes. There's a lot of possibilities to happen in areas of northern Minnesota today. So stay weather aware if you got friends and family up in northern Minnesota. That's not where I'd want to be as far as severe weather goes today. From a storm chaser standpoint, max updraft helicity doesn't support the tornado genesis there, but I think the hailers are definitely going to be here. We'll have to see how it plays out, but boy, oh boy, this is going to be some crazy stuff here as we get into tomorrow. Look at that. Major, major event here tomorrow. And I really think I probably should just. Hey, Matt. Oh, Matt. Yeah, I'm glad. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate the comment, and you're welcome. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to say the least. I think I want to take work off tomorrow just so that I can maybe capture some good photography. It's been a while since I got some good photos. Not only that, last time I had an event like this and I was at work, I was in charge of making sure that everybody stayed. Some people wanted to leave, and I'm like, no, you can't leave. It's dangerous. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. I'll try and keep you updated. If I do chase tomorrow, I'll let you guys know. Uh, if you're on here, obviously, you can certainly hit the subscribe button or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm old, so I can't. So you can hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you don't hit the notification bell, you're not going to know when I go live. So get those notifications on. I know sometimes you get enough notifications on your phone, but this one is crucial, especially for areas of Sioux Falls tomorrow. God bless. You guys stay safe, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for another live and see how things have changed. Will they stay the same or will they just die out? God bless.